We have some breaking news on a Toronto cold case that's nearly 4 decades old. An arrest has been made in 2 murders that happened in 1983. Susan Tice and Aaron Gilmore were killed months apart in Toronto. Now, at a news conference earlier today, police revealed a suspect has been arrested and is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder. Natalie Collada was listening into that update. So, Natalie, what new details did we learn?
Well, Arthie, we know Joseph George Sutherland was arrested Thursday in Moose, Ontario by the OPP and then handed over to the Toronto police. He is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder. You can see a picture of him on your screen on the right. That is him when he was arrested. On the left is a picture from the time period of the murder. He is facing 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of 22-year-old Aaron Gilmore and 45-year-old, Susan Tice. Both were killed in 1983 in their homes, just kilometers apart. Both were sexually assaulted and then stabbed in their rooms. Police used DNA technology to match the semen at the crime scene, and they actually entered that DNA into a family tree database called GEDmatch. And they used that raw DNA data submitted by voluntary members who use companies like 23andMe and Ancestry DNA to do a family history search. And what they found was in November 2020, researchers successfully identified an unknown suspect's great-grandparents. They hired genealogists and worked their way through the family tree to then eventually obtain a sample from Sutherland and then got the match and then made that arrest. Now, Sutherland wasn't a suspect or even a person of interest during the almost 39 years this investigation has been going on. So police officers really crediting this technology for the arrest. Detective Sergeant Steve Smith said that these were among the most complex cases he has seen in his entire career. Here's more from him.
Going through this case, I'll tell you that the only way that this was solved was the advances in science. We're able to use investigative genetic genealogy to narrow down a suspect family, and from there, we're able to narrow down a suspect who is obviously under arrest today.
Now, Sutherland lived in Toronto in the 1980s at the time of the murder, but he had lived throughout Ontario in the last 39 years. And given that these pair of murders happened within 4 months of each other, and it's been nearly 4 decades since these 2 women were killed, police say they're looking into other cases, not just in Toronto or in Moosonee, but really throughout the entire province, Arthie.
And now, Natalie, we also did get a chance to hear from the brother of one of those victims at that press conference. So how is he and the family feeling now, nearly 40 years later, after an arrest has been made?
Well, Sean McCowan really says that the family is relieved, but they're also very pained. They are Gilmore's brother. He is Gilmore's brother, I should say. He was joined with her other brother. And they addressed the media, and they said when they learned of the arrest last week, it was the best call they had ever received. That's what he said. But he said it was also very painful. He spoke to the media about how they were feeling at this press conference. Have a listen to Sean McCowan.
It finally puts a name and a face to someone who, for all of us, has been a ghost. It's truly incredible we are here today. I don't want to say that any of us ever gave up hope, but almost over 4 decades, we began to wonder if we would ever get to this resolution. We're so thankful that technology finally caught up and provided the incredible detectives at TPS a new set of clues and ultimately an answer.
Now, he continued to thank police for really never giving up on his sisters. Officers, including retired ones, Arthur, worked on this case, very determined to see it through to the end. And of course, now we know they have a suspect in custody.
Thanks for this, Natalie. That is the CBC's Natalie Collada reporting. Now, on this, we also spoke with Kevin Bryan. He is a former detective with the forensic unit of York Regional Police north of Toronto. And he says today's technology is having a huge impact in solving cold cases that may be decades old.
It's just fantastic technology. The fact that the technology has advanced, DNA technology has advanced as far as it has, is exciting for investigators. It's exciting for family members of previous victims, as well as some victims, maybe not of homicides, of course, but of sexual assaults or serious violent crimes. So it's exciting technology. I know that those officers who worked on this case so diligently are feeling ecstatic, and they're also feeling relieved in the way that that person's name, the Joseph Sutherland's name, never did cross their desk during the course of the 39 years. Because is always something you'd worry about as a previous investigator, somebody who's been clearing suspects as you go through the investigation, that maybe you miss somebody. So the fact that his name was not there is going to be a large relief for the investigators on the case, and certainly exciting for the family. It's a really good day for policing and victims, and it's a really good day also for justice, because everybody who's out there who's committed a serious offense and has been looking over their shoulder for years has even more reasons to do that now.